Welcome back. Thank you very much for joining me. My name is Swadik Mayanja, but you guys can call me Q. And we are on another episode of the Everyday Hero Show. This is where I bring people in my life or people in your life that brings joy and happiness and good things, but does not get the credit that they deserve. Today, I have Laura, my coworker, and Peter, her boo, husband, significant other. And we're here to talk about a whole range of things, but very importantly, we are going to start with the woolly chest. So please, first and most important, who are you guys and where are you guys from?
So I'm Peter. I grew up in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, Amish country.
Okay. Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
We're Mennonite.
Yeah, we're Mennonite.
I don't know what that means. What's a Mennonite? Oh my God. I think the interview might change entirely. What's a Mennonite?
Okay, so a Mennonite, so you have Christianity, right?
Okay.
And then you have Catholicism. This is the tree. And there's Protestantism, and there's Anabaptism. So the Anabaptists are the Mennonites, the Quakers,
okay.
the Amish, the Brethren, maybe some others.
Baptist.
You know how uneducated I am when it comes to religion? I really thought the Amish were a sect of the Jewish.
Nope.
No, it's Christianity.
So who are the so that's just like Orthodox Jews who are really I'm sorry. Anyways, all right. So you were in a Mennonite, and you are from Pennsylvania.
Right, yes.
And Laura, you are?
Yeah. I was born in upstate New York, same Mennonite religion, and I moved to New Hampshire with my mom when I was 5, and that's where I grew up.
Oh, goody. I like the simple and easy. And we obviously have a guest. Who's our guest?
Her name is Kitty, or Kitty.
You guys are the most creative pet owners I've ever met.
And she loves coffee.
She loves coffee. So
I'm sure she
She's
does.
gonna drink
try to
it.
keep it away from
Literally, the first question I asked when I walked into this house is, "It smells so good. Do you drink tea or coffee?" I don't blame Kitty.
Yeah.
I mean, she knows what's up.
She
Definitely knows what's up. Okay, so let's get down to business. All right. So the reason that this is happening, first of all, shout out to Laura, because I work with Laura. We are coworkers. We do work together. We are both nurses, and she is wonderful. And she told me about this event that was going on here, and it was a festival of some sort, right? Yes. And then she's like, "Oh my goodness, we are setting up this tent situation, and we are selling goodies." I went and I bought a hat. I did not bring it. I really tried to find it on my way here, but you bring some goodies at home, especially when it's winter oriented. The whole family shares, and once the sharing begins, it never ends. So that's another question. Swabby, I need my goddamn hat back. But I went there and I bought a hat, and I was absolutely taken back by the stuff that you had that it was out there, right? So I want you to tell me and the people, how did you get started into this? And it's knitting, correct?
Knitting, yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so
how'd you get started into it, and then why the woolly chest?
my grandma taught me how to knit when I was in like the 4th grade, and so I made a dishcloth just like a square. It didn't really look like a square.
Okay.
And then I stopped knitting until I went to college. But then when I went to college, we met at Eastern Mennonite University, and there were a lot of people there who knit. So I picked it back up again.
Is that legit? A lot of people at your college knit?
Yeah.
That's insane.
There were
Grandma chic.
Yeah,
That's insane.
Granny chic. It was very hot.
Did you guys get really high? Did you guys get really fucked up?
When we knit?
I mean, I feel like if you go to college, I know my mindset when I was college aged, right? And my mindset was hardcore nonstop forever. And I feel like for someone to get me to knit in college, I would have had to be on some crazy ass.
I mean, it was pretty
You were
wholesome.
sober,
It
yeah.
was a pretty wholesome experience.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Hats off to you. And we are really going to get to the how you really got into knitting. But Laura, do you knit? Are you a knitter at all, or did that happen after you met Peter?
I was not a knitter prior to Peter.
Oh, wow.
I do know how to knit.
We had lessons at
Yeah.
our friend's house, Caitlin.
Is that how you guys met? I would love to know the...
We met at college.
Yeah, we met in college.
Okay. So there was no, like, super crazy. It was just like you guys were dating, and then after you guys decided...
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more like we were friends, and then
Yeah.
we were dating, and then we were, well, 2 years ago, married.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
By the way, fantastic home and fantastic photos. Just got to put that out there. It's important. It's very important. Very important. Okay. All right. So, and then, so how did it go from my grandma taught me knitting, I knitted in college, to this is something I want to do business wise. This is something I want to do professionally. When did that happen?
So, I mean, I always kind of wanted to knit for a living just because I really enjoyed doing it, but I never thought I could. I tried to do a craft fair. What year was it? 2016 when we first moved up here, and it was terrible. We made like $60, maybe, like just enough to cover the cost.
It was how much it cost to participate in the event.
Fair. It was bad.
And it was only because our very good friends showed up.
Yeah, our friends came and bought
That's very
stuff.
nice. That's very nice.
It was very nice.
It's always nice to have a couple friends.
Yeah. Then in September, this past September, Laura was like, "You should have an Instagram for your knitting stuff."
Yes.
And I was like, "All right, we can do an Instagram." So we started posting every day, and I started getting orders. And then all of September, October, and November, I was knitting custom orders for friends for Christmas gifts and stuff. And then we started following other knitters who do knit for a living, and I realized it was maybe possible to at least make some income off of it. So
yeah, so I like the progression, and I have to say, very important and key aspect of that progression was putting your stuff up on Instagram, right? Yeah, because I have to say I do. So I'm happy to hear that the idea of it going up there was Laura's, and I'd like to know why you decided to make that decision. But I was surprised, even though Laura told you to put it up on Instagram and pushed you to make that decision. I still think that Laura could do so much more. I mean, oh my God! Of course,
all of it. She does everything except the knitting.
I think that's wonderful. But I feel like, okay, we'll get there. So, Laura, why did you decide to tell Peter we have to put this on Instagram?
Number one reason is because we had all of this shit in our house that was handmade, and I was like,
I just kept making stuff.
I needed to go
I didn't
away.
have anywhere to put it, but I didn't want to stop making it.
Yeah, where is it gonna go? And so I posted. He had made like little baby hats, and we had a couple friends who were having babies, and I was like, we're gonna start giving them away as gifts. We're gonna start whatever. And so I was like taking pictures and being like, this is what we're sharing.
Yes.
We had a Facebook page for a while, but we didn't do anything with it.
Yeah.
It was just kind of there. And then you had an Etsy from college that was never actually ever set up.
Right.
It was just
the
name.
I just wanted to make sure that I had the name in case I ever wanted to use it.
In case, yeah.
And how'd you come up with that name, the Woolly Chest? Because I think it's I
thought it was
lovely.
clever.
It's a little cheesy.
because I have a hairy chest, but also a woolly. We have chest themed furniture, like
Which is
trunks.
nice.
So it's like a bit of a double entendre there.
There you go.
Yes, yeah.
Good for you. Yeah, and I do enjoy it. And I have to say, it is a wonderful hat. I don't know if I pull it off right, and I'll put a picture somewhere up on the screen. But I did purchase a hat, and it's nice. It really is nice, right? I want to get into the details of the Woolly Chest, but before we get into the details, I am ignorant to the art of fashion, to all of that stuff, right? So I want to know, what is the difference between knitting, between sewing, and what's the other one? Crochet. Very good. Yeah, see, they know what I'm talking about. So please, to someone who knows nothing about nothing, what are those differences? What is the actual difference?
So knitting is with 2 needles.
Okay.
And you have all of your stitches on the needles, and you work the stitches across the needles.
Okay.
Crocheting, you use a hook, and you
It's just one.
insert the hook into the stitch, and that's how you do it. You only have 1 stitch on the hook at a time.
1 stitch on the hook. So I am going to have pictures up here, because in my head I'm having a hard time picture what this means. But all right, 1 stitch, 1 needle for crocheting.
Right.
And then sewing?
And then sewing, I don't know anything about sewing. You use a machine, the fabric's already made. So knitting and crocheting, you're making fabric.
Out of yarn.
You're making the fabric
String.
itself.
Oh, wow, okay.
With sewing, you have the fabric, and you're putting it together, cutting it.
So all clothing is sewing. Well, no, that doesn't make sense, because
Unless it's a sweater.
you guys sell knitting clothing,
Right.
But like, I feel like mass market.
So like
clothing?
the fabric might be knit. I don't know. This isn't knit. This is probably woven. Your t-shirt's knit. This fabric is knit. but then it was cut into pieces and sewn together.
And
it was
so,
knit with, like, a
oh my
machine.
God.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Wait, so when you are,
So like knitting and weaving and crocheting is the process of making the fabric itself.
okay.
And then sewing is constructing a garment from the fabric.
So when you make your hats, your bows, your all of that stuff, are you knitting the actual fabric and then sewing it together, or do you knit the actual hat in like one swoop?
I knit most of my hats in one piece just because I hate to sew.
So I have to say, Peter, I know you said in the beginning that you wanted to start out as you started out because your grandmother showed you how to. Mm-hmm. Was that something that you were forced into? Did you actually want to learn?
I was a little bit forced into it. So my grandma worked with this program called 4-H.
Okay.
I have not seen it up here at all, but it's
4-H
like
is a thing everywhere.
it's a thing
It's
everywhere.
a thing everywhere, but usually in like rural.
Yeah, so
Not
it's
in the
like
middle of the city.
you do like homesteading kind of activities as a child. It's a way to keep children in agricultural, traditional,
So some people
So
will
things.
raise animals.
and then they go to fairs and get them
You
judged.
said you're from New Hampshire, right?
I'm from Pennsylvania.
You're from New Hampshire. I'm sorry. Pennsylvania.
Right.
See, Pennsylvania is so much more urban than New Hampshire. I would feel like people in New Hampshire are doing this crazy.
Yeah,
things.
I mean, lots of Pennsylvania's pretty.
They are.
I don't doubt it for a hot second. Yes. This seems like a very. I took home ec my 8th grade. It was either 8th or 7th grade. I'm from Newton, Mass, which is as close to the city as you can for a suburb. And yeah, so like that was the only time I've ever remembered doing anything that has anything to resemble this. And then outside of that, I'm just on Amazon buying my clothing there, right? So I think that it's fabulous. I love it, right? I really do appreciate that you are doing all of this stuff. But I have to be honest, right? Knowing that you have this cool thing that you do on the side is fantastic. But I'm a male nurse. Knitting is a very feminine it's a stereotyped as a feminine thing to do, right?
Yeah.
Do you deal with that? Is that
Not-
something that you deal with?
Surprisingly, no.
Okay.
I feel like I would more, but I mean, everyone at work knows I do it. I've not gotten any weird comments or looks.
At
They
all.
also know that you're married to a woman.
We also know that I'm married to a woman, right?
Yes,
So-
which is a big thing. It is a big deal. I think it is a big deal, right?
Right.
And Laura, I have to say, I know you were very so it sounds like you were very oh my goodness, good for you, gun ho, go do your knitting, and you helped him with the Instagram, obviously. And I'll put the Instagram somewhere here, so you guys most definitely should go check it out, look at all that cool stuff. But when you found out that Peter is a big knitter, did that make you feel any type of way? No. So it was okay, and there was no issue about it.
Yeah, I mean, he's the one who taught me how to do it. So
Yeah.
it's not like it was a big surprise for me when I was like, oh shit, he knits.
It is why I stopped knitting through middle school through high school. I stopped knitting in the 4th grade.
Which is when you learned.
Right. Because I felt like boys shouldn't knit. This is weird of me to do.
Okay, and then you picked
And
it
I
up
didn't pick it back up again until college.
when you felt like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, because everyone was knitting.
I don't know if everyone was.
All the people I hung out with were knitting.
We're
Shame,
knitting.
but-
I think is really important. All right, so I want to know big goals. What is the plan with the woolly chest? Is the woolly chest big goals? You want this to be your full-time
I
job?
would love for it to be my full-time job.
Okay.
I don't know that that's reasonable at this point. Laura would really love for me to stay with a day job where I have a predictable
I need some
income.
income.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we'll see if it takes off. I don't know. Also, the knitting designer community. There's just so many people doing so many things. That
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I know,
There's a lot.
I feel like maybe
think so?
I have to just be honest. I think that you're in the culture, right? You're in that life, so you know a whole lot of people who are doing the knitting game.
Yeah.
I have to be honest. I know 0 people outside of you, Peter.
Right.
You just know
I
why.
have 0 people, and that's why I say that Laura could be doing so much more. Because in my heart, Laura, I gotta be honest, right? The fact that I found out that you had an Instagram channel, an Instagram page for the knitting, after you told me about the event, I was like, Laura, girl, boo boo, you got to be telling everyone and every nurse in Leahy should know.
I don't want to be those people. You know, everybody on your
multi-level
Facebook page
marketer.
or on the Instagram, everybody has friends who are trying to sell something.
Yes.
And I don't want to be like,
them.
buy my shit. You know?
Yeah. No, I hear
But at
you.
the same time, I want people to buy my shit.
I mean, it's
course.
nice.
So
Exactly. It really is nice shit. I did buy one, right? I did buy one. And I do think it is nice shit. But I do. I really do. I appreciate it. I don't think I can pull it off. I've never been a hat person, but I appreciate it. I think it's good that you're doing it, right? I really do think it's good that you're doing it. But so that's why I just say that, Laura, I think people just should know. I don't know if you should tell
Right.
everybody, like, most definitely buy
We
my
don't have,
shit,
like, a marketing
but just
budget
check
or
my
anything.
stuff.
No, we don't budget any money for marketing.
Oh, wait, really?
No.
Yeah, we gotta talk.
I know.
We gotta talk, girl.
I
We
know.
gotta talk about this.
I
We
just
really
know Instagram hashtags. That's it.
legit. As long as that's where we're starting. As long as that's where we're starting. But we're about to pop off on this Instagram thing because we're gonna do a full-on photo shoot after. All right. So Peter, I'm happy. I went to the thing. I bought one of your hats. I love it. I think this whole knitting situation, the woolly chest, is fantabulous, right? Hopefully one day you get to just knit full time. But I have to be honest. The woolly chest and the knitting was a way to sneak into interviewing Laura, right? So I've asked. I mean, I'm a nurse, so there's things that I care about very specifically, but I think that this plays perfectly in hand with what I have been brewing in my mind about for a long, long time, right? So I am a male nurse. Laura's a nurse, is a female nurse, and then we have Peter that enjoys knitting, which is considered a female stereotype. I have dealt with a lot of people talking down to me, gay jokes. I have had on occasion, but not as much because I think patients see me very much as a masculine kind of guy. But I have dealt with the do you have a boyfriend type of questions. And then also, like, my friend group loves to like trash talk the fact that I'm a male nurse, right? Are you guys feminists? Is the question I want to ask.
let's say
I like
yes.
to think we're feminists.
Yeah.
Wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do our best to be good feminists.
You guys do your best to be good feminists. I want to know what that means to you, and I do want to start with you, Laura. As a feminist, what does it mean to you?
That is a hard question.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. I think an important thing is supporting other women and seeing women as equal to men.
Okay.
But sometimes supporting other women, I don't know. There's a lot of talk now about like white feminism. And
Yes.
I like to try not to play into that. But that's hard as a white lady to,
Not fall into that.
yeah.
You feel for your own, right? I
Right,
feel
right.
for my own.
Right.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I definitely hear you. I just want to. When you say supporting, so like, when you say it's hard to support? Okay, well, you didn't say it's hard to support
hard to
everyone,
support
but like, do you think it is helpful to support other women? Do you know who Amber Rose is?
Amber
Rose?
Rose.
She's in the hip hop culture. Anyways, she did this huge thing. I think it was 2 years ago, and it is an annual thing, but it blew up like 2 years ago. But she did this thing called the Slut Walk.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, so you are familiar with
I
the
am
Slut
familiar
Walk?
with the slut walk.
Okay, very good. So the Slut Walk is a thing where they were basically just saying we like sex just as much as the next dude, just as the next penis. We love to have sex, and we enjoy having sex, and you guys shouldn't call us sluts. That's the basic understanding of what I learned from that situation.
Well, also, like, what I'm wearing doesn't mean that
I want to.
right. Like, I can wear whatever I want. That doesn't mean that you get to take advantage of me.
Of course. So it does not bother you.
Slut walk? No.
The Slut Walk.
No, I love it.
You are in the belief that women should be able to have sex with as many, and it's not an issue.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like as long as you're being safe about it, you do you.
You do you.
You do you.
I
That's the
love
nurse
it.
in me.
I
long as you're
love it.
safe.
As long as you're safe, you do you. So what does it mean to you, Peter? As a male feminist, I've been
man.
dealing with this this is an issue, and I do want to talk to you about it. I've been dealing with this for a little bit. So male feminist, what does that mean to you?
Supporting. So, as a male feminist, I guess most of my most of what I can do is in a supporting role.
Yes.
So like in my work, I am a manager at a hotel, and so making sure that the women in our department have a voice, trying to encourage them to make decisions, that kind of stuff.
And that is like, I feel like, yeah. So I feel like that big picture, that sounds good, right? Big picture that does sound good. So I want to get into the nitty gritty because I think there are things that we have to come to terms with. I mean, it's just life, right? Women get pregnant, men don't. And I think a big talking point for feminists in general is that there is a gender wage gap, right? I do believe that maternity leave should be a must for all human, like for everyone, like right, maternity. And I would love to have paternity leave. I think that's secondary, but
It's part of feminism.
oh, good. I appreciate that, but when women leave to have children and they want to stay home with the child to breastfeed and do that for the first 3 months of the baby's life, or however long they decide they want to do that, I think they should be getting paid at the bare minimum a percentage of their check while they are on maternity leave, like literally giving life and raising the future of this world, right? I think that should be the bare minimum. But can we at the same time say that is just as important, right, when it comes to the workplace as men being in the workplace without going off on maternity leave or paternity leave, and like doing the function day to day of working every single day? Is that, do you guys think that is equal? Should we be getting paid the same much? Should these women still be getting promoted at the same rate if they do need to or want to leave to have a kid and go away from the workplace for months at a time?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they should be penalized for
having a child.
having a child,
Yeah.
because that's not just their decision anyway.
It
Someone else
does-
is making that choice,
Yes, there are two people that are a part of that situation.
at least.
And I think it's important to, yes, of course. The answer is yes, right? So we have like 19 people on our floor that are pregnant right now, right? But there's a lot of pregnant women that where we work, and they're all having babies, and it is a thing. But you have to, like, let's be honest. So if a manager of ours or a coworker of ours were going to have a kid, right? They leave to have that kid. They want to stay home with that kid for a couple of months. Well, is it okay for us to be like, all right, we are not going to have a manager until they return, and then they get back and they should be moving on? Like, we need...
That's why travel people exist.
Okay.
At least in nursing.
At least in nursing. And I think that's fair. And
travel managers too.
yes. So is it the same in your line of work? Does it function the same way, basically? Like, is it as easy to find a replacement?
I don't know. We haven't had any.
That's not an issue that you've had to deal with.
Yeah, it's not something we've had to deal with.
Tell them why you haven't had to deal with that, Peter.
What do you mean? Oh, because there are no women.
Because there are no women
in management roles.
There are no women in management roles.
Except
Right
for
now.
in sales.
Okay.
The sales department is 2 women, 3 women.
Okay. And I think that leads me perfectly into the next topic I have. Do you think it's social? It's like our social upbringing. It's like just the way our life, this world is set up, that men are told to do certain jobs and have certain careers, and women are told to do certain jobs and have careers? Or do you think that that's by choice, right? Because I work in a profession where it's 99%, it's not 90, I think it's like 97 or 96% female. And the business world, or like, like that lifestyle,
So I
is
think
different.
Socialization definitely has something to do with it. Yeah.
Do you think, how
I
much...
think that the pressures that society puts on people definitely affect the decisions they make when they're choosing career paths. Right?
Yes.
Kitty.
Kitty's
Behave
excited.
yourself.
Is Kitty a female or male?
She's a lady.
She's a lady.
She's a girl cat.
Okay. So all right, so that makes sense, right? So of course, I do believe that, right? But I do also believe that there's a biological aspect to what men and female like want to do when it comes to career, like just what
I
they...
disagree.
Yeah, do you think it's biological, or do you think it's the way that you're raised?
I think it's a little bit...
I think it.
I think it is a
There's
little.
no more coffee in there. She's fine.
I think it is a little bit of both, but I do think a big part of it is biological.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I think the biology often dictates how our parents raise us. You know?
How we gender our children.
Like if you
From
have a
infancy.
daughter, you're gonna teach that daughter to play with dolls and push a stroller, and then she's gonna be more caring. If you encourage this person with a penis to play with dolls and push a stroller around and play house, like would
Would they want to be a nurse just as much,
does
right?
does it have anything to do with genitalia? Who's to say?
Who is to say, right? I mean, see, I don't. That's a great question because I don't think.
Animal.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know.
It's also hard to study. Because how are you going to have
Parents aren't doing-
How are you going to have a control group in that kind of study? Also, sociology is very soft science anyway.
I guess that is fair. I mean, I think that is fair. I didn't expect this. Okay, no. This is really good. No, this is really good because I needed this because I do have a hard time. So just to put it out there, I do consider myself a feminist, right? I do consider myself a feminist, but I do consider it like just the dictionary's like definition of feminist. I want just equality for everybody. You know, black, white, male, female, all
Right,
that stuff.
right.
Do you think that feminism today is getting a little out of control?
I don't think so. I mean, so I think
as a white male, I don't think it matters what you think.
that's fair.
But
there is no but.
and that's what I'm saying for you as a female,
I'm a
as
white lady. I still have so much privilege.
but you are a woman, right?
Sure, yeah.
So do you think that feminism is getting a little out of hand?
I don't think that feminism is getting out of hand. I think that people are tired of listening to people. What you mean by getting out of hand is people who are snowflakes and social justice warriors.
Exactly. That's exactly what
Or
I'm
being
getting to.
ridiculous with the labeling of things. But, like, does it hurt you in any way to
Right, to
call
use-
someone transgender or
or to
trans
use-
instead of transsexual or transvestite? Like, does that hurt you in any way? Or to stop using gay and retarded as slurs? Like, how does that affect you?
It doesn't.
Who's not those things, right? Like,
It really doesn't.
It doesn't. It's just words. And if it does hurt somebody else, why would you not want to change the way that you act?
Probably missed a little bit, but I will review because I did notice.
worry.
It is so. What Laura was just telling me is that
You gonna sit here and behave yourself?
Laura was saying that the person who has to change the way they speak to other people should not affect it. Actually, does not affect the person who's saying the stuff, right? If I ask you to call me Q instead of my first name, that doesn't affect your life at all, but it does affect the way I feel, right? When you decide or not to call me by what I ask you to call me. But I do have to ask, you guys are gung-ho all about transgender rights. You will call them by whatever pronoun they choose and say and all of that good stuff.
Yes.
You have no worries, no issues about any of that good
worries,
stuff.
I have no issues about it. It gets a little dicey in the medical field, I suppose,
Yes.
for like hormonal reasons.
Yes.
But
I think it's important to make the distinction between biological sex and gender, obviously.
right.
Please explain that to me.
So, gender is socially constructed. It's,
You do believe that?
yeah.
Okay.
That's a sociological fact, Q. Not only do we
So,
believe it, but it is
biological
true.
sex is what genitalia you were born with. And then
That's bio. Yes. Okay.
gender is the socially constructed norms that often are paired with your biological sex, but they don't necessarily have to be. And I think now people are realizing that and asking to change these things. And so a bunch of people who disagree with that are getting all offended. But like, why?
But why?
If I want
Why?
to wear heels and a dress and still have a beard,
Who is that hurting?
right.
Zero human being.
Zero human
Exactly.
beings.
It
And
really
if that
isn't.
makes him happy, which is, I mean, whatever.
I'm not wearing heels. I'm tall enough.
I'm tall enough.
That's good. I might need to get myself some heels. But I do want to be 6 feet. It is a dream of mine. No, so that's good. No, that is good. But I have to be honest, right? As a black person, right, it's easy for me to understand. So I can understand being born gay, right? I can understand that. That's something I can relate to. Like, it's just something you feel. I am sexually attracted to someone. If you are sexually attracted to someone, it's not something your mom tells you to do. It's not something your dad tells you to do. You should be attracted to this human being. It's something you feel on your own. It's super hard for me to relate and empathize. I understand it. I want all the rights for them. Do you boo boo? But it's something that I really have to work on because I don't know how to relate to the feeling of not being what you are born with.
Right.
Is this something that you guys deal with at all, or is it just like I don't know, but I also don't care?
I mean, I have a number of trans friends, and I mean, if you don't understand it, you don't have to understand what
It feels
they're
like.
going through
To treat them like
to
people.
treat them as human beings, you
Yes.
know, or to use the pronouns they want, or to just be a kind person.
Kind of human being, a
you
decent
know?
person.
Just
Yeah.
be good people.
Yeah, no, and I think that makes sense, and that's why I say I want all the good things for them, but
But can you imagine how tough it would be to look at yourself? And I mean, we all have body dysmorphia. We all look at ourselves in the mirror every day, and we want something about ourselves to be different. You know, our physical appearance.
of course,
But can you imagine everything about your body
Feeling wrong.
feeling wrong? Can you imagine every time you use the bathroom or take a shower, feeling like this is not who I am? That would just be
the worst
the
existence.
worst. Yeah.
I mean, you would feel out of place all
the
day,
time.
every day,
Yeah.
even when you were by
So
yourself.
it's yeah, it's just frustrating, the lack of accessibility to medical care or to what's needed to do gender reassignment, to do hormone therapy. I don't know. It's
No.
just frustrating sometimes.
No, I hear
Bathroom
you.
bullshit.
Yeah, the bathroom bullshit. Fucking. Sorry.
Just,
It's bullshit. That's what it is. It's
just
bullshit.
let it be, right? Let it be.
Right.
I
I don't give a shit. What
No.
toilet you want to use?
No cisgendered person is gonna use the wrong bathroom just for shiggles.
Yeah.
You know?
no, I hear you. I definitely do hear. I hear you.
If someone's presenting as female and they have a penis, but they go by she,
And they use the men's
why
restroom.
can't
That's gonna be
even more
obvious.
weird
Yeah.
than them using the women's restroom. You know?
Yes. No. Yes. But I think that does end up going into something else where it's women are legitimately, I don't want to say afraid, but they have
Are women afraid of trans people using the same bathroom as
No,
them?
no.
Okay.
I'm saying
I don't
no. I'm
know
saying
anyone.
I'm saying that it's I know that women are afraid, walking in a dark street at night by themselves or surrounded by other guys. So when people say that I don't want someone that looks like a man to come into the bathroom when I am most vulnerable because that's what I'm doing, my human duties, I understand that sentiment, but I also say if we are going to go by the numbers, how many, if ever, has they been someone that is pretending to be transsexual, transgendered, and want to go into a female's bathroom who is a man and does some crazy shit? I have yet to hear a story about that scenario ever, right? But I can't pretend that that's not an actual fear of a woman being in a woman's bathroom and looking at someone that looks like what we know as to be men. And being I feel uncomfortable. This is not right? And we can't pretend that that's not a thing because I want I have 4 sisters, and I want them to be safe at all times. If my sister tells me she's uncomfortable with a situation with a man being there, I'm yes, I understand. So we can't pretend that it's not a thing, right? We definitely can't. But that's just something I am currently dealing with. It's hard for me, right? It really is something that I've been trying to deal with for the longest time. Okay, so you guys do think that the majority. So when you said that it's 50-50, you say like it's 50 nurture and 50 nature, right? So it's like.
I don't know if it's 50-50. I don't know what I would say the percentage is.
But you definitely think it's both. It's not one. It's not one or the other.
One or the other.
And then I have to say, so as a heterosexual cisgender male, white male, do you feel like you are being attacked in today's current culture?
So, I'm bisexual.
Okay.
But I'm married to a woman, and I am cisgender.
You're presenting. Yeah.
So I present as a heterosexual white dude, which is probably like we discussed why I don't get much shit about the knitting.
The knitting, yes.
I mean, I don't feel attacked.
Does it bother you?
Laura often tells me, like, it doesn't matter what you think about this topic because you're the person in power. You're here to support people who have less privilege than you.
Yes.
I mean, it makes me feel uncomfortable sometimes, but it's like, does my comfort matter?
Yes.
You know? Like, whose comfort who is it more important to be comfortable? You know? I have been people who are like me have been in power all over the world for so long. And where am I going with this?
Maybe it's time to listen to
it's time to listen to other people, you know?
And I hear you.
I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I don't know what it feels like to be afraid to, like, I walk to work in downtown Lowell. I walk to and from work. I work until like 11, 12 at night. So it's like I don't feel uncomfortable walking home. So I don't know what that's like. So why am I going to try to tell someone else how they should feel about that? Does that make sense? I feel like I'm rambling.
No, you're not rambling because that's literally like how I feel in these situations, right? I don't want to say I'm lucky that I am black, but I honestly do feel like I'm lucky that I'm black, right? Because if I was a white male, I would be the worst ally in the history of the world. And I say this only because it is so hard for me when a woman tells me it doesn't matter what you feel about this specific issue.
Right.
I mean, this is coming from someone that loves to have the attention on myself. I have to say, when someone tells me, I don't care what you think, doesn't matter what you think, I'm butthurt. I'm not lying. I'm butthurt. It hurts me when someone says, right now, you should shut up and just listen, right?
Right, because there are however many senators that look just like you
exactly.
making all of those choices right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I want to disagree with you when you say that your comfort doesn't matter maybe as much in those situations, but do you think it is, like, Laura, let me ask you, so do you think it's necessary that the men just shut up and listen? Or do you think it's important that the men in these situations when we are having these conversations about feminists and moving into a time where everyone is equal, for them to voice their opinions on all of these topics?
But you already know what opinions we have. You know the
I've
white
heard your
male
opinions for a long time.
Perspective. Like, we know that perspective. It's everywhere.
It's very clear.
Right, yeah.
Yes. I don't
do we need to
ask.
say it anymore?
And y'all are posting it all over the internet anyway, even when we don't ask.
Right.
And see, and this is where I had that issue, right? And this is where I had that issue. So, on one hand, you saying that everyone's equal, right?
Yes.
And then on the other hand, you're saying that if everyone's equal and everyone is the same and gender is on a spectrum and you could be anything and everything, you can't also say that your opinion doesn't matter. Because if your opinion doesn't matter and everyone's equal, your thinking and your opinions are the same as mine if everything is all.
Everyone should be equal. But right now it's not. So we got to balance the scales a little bit. You know, we got to change the way people are represented so that
we can be equal.
We can be equal, right?
Which is the
so I think. How do I say this without sounding like an asshole?
I've been the asshole. You just do it. You say it. Go it. Gun ho.
I think my perspective matters. I think the white male perspective matters, but it carries so much more weight than, say, the opinion of a woman of color or an indigenous person. You know? So the opinions themselves aren't held in equal esteem.
Yes.
You know, people aren't listening to the other opinions as much.
And that's why maybe it's time to just shut up
Just
and listen.
So there's the difference between equality and equity. I don't know if you've seen that meme.
I haven't, but
Where
talk
it's
to
like,
me.
so it's like 3 people of different heights trying to watch a baseball game over a fence, right? And they all have, so equality is everybody has the same size step stool that they're standing on to try to see
over the fence
to watch the baseball game.
Okay.
And then equity is where everybody has a different size step stool so that
Proportionate.
each person can see over the fence to watch the baseball game.
And that's the difference.
Right. Right.
So we're
right-
looking for both equality and equity. Wait,
What
what?
are equality to look like? Equity.
Right?
Or is it reversed?
I don't know.
We'll have the
We want
picture on the screen.
everyone to
We'll have
be-
the picture on the screen. But we all no, I hear you. So I want the whatever the word is that you have it proportionate to
So I
based
think
on
what
who
I'm
the
trying to say
person is.
Equity is the reason that my perspective is less important in the current political climate. Right?
Okay.
Right.
Because of equity, I need a shorter step stool so that we can give a larger step stool to women of color and indigenous people and trans people.
Yes.
There we go.
See, now I can agree with that. See, that makes sense to me. You know, I just needed a little extra here. I did a little extra here. So Laura, this is specific to you. So there, I found out this probably like 6-7 months ago that there is a gender wage gap in nursing. So there's a gender wage gap. Period.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's a country that has equal pay for both genders.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure there isn't, but I'll put
I trust you.
So with that being said, in nursing, right? And do you think that this is because I can't understand how in a profession with 96%, 95%, whatever that number is, dominated by women, how there is a gender wage gap where men are making more, right? Because in my very short life of being a nurse, all of my supervisors have been female nurses. All of my managers have been female nurses. Like everyone that is at the tippy top of nursing when it comes to unions and the board of nursing, it's all been female dominated, but there's still a gender wage gap.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
I don't know a whole lot about the
Like
gender
the
wage
actual
gap in
numbers.
nursing.
Okay.
I believe it. I think a lot of it is typical male nurses work in like the emergency room or the ICU that are like more specialty. So I don't know if they take that into account when they figure out the wage gap. And also you do currently have a male who is the manager. Tim.
I do. Oh, yo, Tim! Yo, Tim, what's up, guy? No, that's a good point. Yes, I do have a Tim, and he is
You have a Tim.
I do have a Tim. I do have a Tim, and that, it is important. No, it's right. No, that's right. That's exactly right. I almost forgot Tim, but I'm sorry. Everybody else, yeah, right? Everybody else. So we talk. Okay. So I think I do want to transition this over to the current political culture just situation we've been in. So we have Donald Trump, he's our president. The 2020 elections is coming up. I don't know. So I only bring this stuff up because I feel like Laura is one of, I don't want to say the few, but like I see it, I feel it, that Laura is just, you just know what's going on, and I feel like you keep up with the situation.
I don't think that's true. But that's cute. That's cute.
Oh, well, good. But I have to say, are there specific people that you're very excited about the 2020 elections? Do you have any thoughts? Like, do you think that we took a downswing when Donald Trump became president for women's rights? Like, what do you think about the current culture? Because I feel like it's been so intense.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, no, I do think we took a downswing as far as women's rights when Donald Trump became president, and that is evidenced by the Women's March and other feminist movements. I don't know how many people marched on DC, but we were there, like, that first year.
We couldn't even march.
2017, we took up so much space that we couldn't march because we filled the emergency exit, like the
No, we had
evacuation
to
route.
march the evacuation route.
Right, because there were
That's
so
amazing.
many people there.
Yeah.
They did not
Yeah.
expect that many people to show up.
You guys went to DC?
Yeah, we did.
Oh my God.
Drove overnight.
I really wanted to go. I was actually.
I worked 7A to 7P, and then I drove to DC.
Wait, are you serious?
I swear to God.
So I went to the Women's March this past
Boston, yeah.
here in Boston. I only knew about that because it was blowing up on Facebook.
We went to that too.
Okay, yes, that's good. And I love the hats, and you guys knitted a few hats.
Yeah, we made a couple hats.
I think it's
We made a
fantabulous.
couple
I think it's
hats.
fantabulous. But do you guys think that that's something that would have happened if Hillary Clinton was president?
No.
No.
And do you think it's a good thing, or do you think big picture it's a negative? Like I think President Trump, yeah, he's a horrible human being. I think it's
Like, you mean did good things come out of it?
yes, the good things come out of the fact that I don't see a situation where we have a women's march with Hillary Clinton as president.
Yeah, no, I don't either, because I don't think
There would have
women
been a
felt as
need.
threatened.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I guess you got to take the good out of every situation anyway. So even if it's a bad situation, good things can happen.
So why even
Do
think
I
about
think
the
that the women's
hypothetical?
march was necessary if he wasn't president? I don't know. That's a good question.
I think like big picture, it would have been a bigger positive gain if Hillary Clinton was president. As much as I'm all for the Women's March, and like I just said, I went to this one that's most recent, but I would rather have had Hillary Clinton as president.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm super progressive. So I'm like way off to the left, right? I'm as far left as you can possibly be. Are there people that you are excited about? Do you care for? Are you comfortable telling us about who you were excited about for 2020?
I like Bernie Sanders.
For 2016, I was pretty pro Bernie Sanders.
I also like Elizabeth Warren.
Elizabeth Warren's a cool lady.
Wait, real
I
talk?
met her. She did a I think Lori Trahan's rally, and she was there this past fall at my place of work. She's a very firm handshake.
I feel like you have
Firm
to.
handshake.
Yeah.
I feel like as a politician, you kind of have to have a firm handshake.
Right.
I think that that's really good because I am the biggest Bernie bro ever, right? So like Bernie's that guy. So Peter, you're a good man. Good for you.
The problem with Bernie, though, is that he is also a
He's
white
another
dude.
white dude.
Oh my God!
However,
all right, yeah,
he's the kind of white dude who might be able to get white dudes to finally listen.
Right.
Maybe.
I
yeah.
don't know.
I guess
That's
that's
the dream.
so. And I wanted to ask about that because I can't lie, right? If it was a situation in 2008 or 2012 where it was Bernie versus Barack Obama, as much of a progressive I am, I don't know if I would have voted for Bernie on the single fact that Barack Obama was black. So I can't lie. I probably would have done it just because I wanted that to happen so much, right?
Yeah.
And I got my fix of I felt empowered, right? So I'm like, so it's easy for me to say like, who cares if it's male or female? Just go based on the policy, right?
Right. Because you got Barack.
Because I got Barack in the back
I
pocket.
think we all got Barack. though.
yes, he's good people. But do you think if it came down to a female, so if it was like Elizabeth Warren versus Sanders at the end, and it was like they were neck and neck,
I don't think it's going to be. But
of course it's not, because Bernie's going to take it because he's a shit. But Laura, as a female, do you think that you would go based on policy and go with Bernie, or would you go with Elizabeth Warren for just that pride of having a first female president?
yeah, I mean, I like to think I would go based on policy because that's what matters.
Yes.
But also, does it matter?
But also,
I don't know.
Yeah, like
it's
the
good.
symbolism of having a woman in office is
It's-
very important as well.
Maybe just as important.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, because and I think that's a really good point. I think we might end on this. I will talk a little bit about the woolly chest a little bit more. I think it's important that you say that because I think the culture of America has changed because of Donald Trump in a very bad way. I feel like everyone is against like the other. I mean, like you're pointing fingers at the bad
It's so
Republican.
polarized.
It's exactly, and it's been really goddamn shitty.
Yeah,
It's been really, 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 really shitty, and I think it's just been rough. But yes, so first of all, Laura, Peter, I appreciate wholeheartedly how kind and open-hearted you guys have been about talking about all of these personal issues. But let's end with the woolly chest, because that's the main reason I came here. All right, so I know you said big picture. You want it to be something that you do full-time, right? That's like big picture.
Right.
What is your current path to getting there, right? You are on Instagram. You have a Facebook page. I don't know how active you are on it, but what's your path to getting there, and how can we help and find you?
I mean, by myself.
Yes.
So right now I'm doing this volume strategy where I just knit as much as I can with chunky yarn and big needles as fast as I can. But I would like to get more into the designing, pattern writing side of things, because it's more of like a passive income kind of deal where I can post it up and I'm not constantly making new products.
Yes.
I can focus on doing
Just-
something more challenging myself a little more. Because like all those hats that you saw when you came to the Winterfest, those were pretty simple patterns.
Okay.
I can make those hats in like 2 to 4 hours, but I would want to challenge myself with some more
Like harder, more difficult things.
more difficult
And I always like to ask about the creative aspect of this, right? Because my understanding of fashion comes from Kanye West, right? Like he's like a person that looks like me that is hardcore into fashion that I can relate to, right? And I understand him as the big picture guy, and he wants it all made. Would you ever want to give up the actual physical action of making it and just like draw it on a picture?
and like
or-
outsource the knitting.
Yes. Is that something
I don't
you
think
think
so.
about? No. So you
I
actually
like the knitting.
you
part of
enjoy
it.
the knitting.
Yeah.
I think you would do it for fun, even if.
Yeah,
somehow-
even if I did outsource my production, I would still knit.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That is really good. I don't want to say I almost respect that more, but like I respect that more. No, really, like you're in the dirt, like you understand it, you get it, you understand it, right?
In the dirt, in the yarn.
And when you are making these things, Peter, how much of the fashion do you think about in like the prior, or is it just like I have gray yarn, I'm gonna make a gray hat? Like how much?
I usually follow what is trending on
Okay.
Instagram, on Ravelry. Try to buy popular patterns to resell.
Yes. So do you have a favorite piece? Do you have a favorite thing that you like to make?
Socks.
I love to make socks.
Wait,
I
are you
can't-
serious?
I can't make them for selling though, because they
Why?
take so long.
Oh,
If I were
garment's
like,
really
if I were
thin.
to price out the socks,
It'd
that
be
I make,
super
It'd
expensive.
be like like
Like $100.
$150. for a
oh,
pair
it
of
takes
socks.
that goddamn long to make
Yeah,
a sock?
It's like 16 hours of labor for socks. Plus, I like to use the nice yarn to keep your feet warm. And it's something you wear all the time, so you don't want cheap yarn that you're just gonna wear through. You
Yeah,
know,
no, you don't.
it's not like a hat that's on your head. Like you're literally
Socks are on
stepping
all
on
day,
it.
every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like in shoes.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I like making socks.
Okay. And what's the biggest piece you've ever made? Have you made a blanket?
I made
Can
a
you knit a
blanket.
blanket?
I crocheted a blanket once. I'm currently knitting a baby blanket.
Oh, that's nice.
I made a sweater. I made
Okay.
I want to go get it.
Please
Go get
do.
a sweater. He's very proud of it.
This is my favorite piece today.
Oh, yes, that was my next question. That's nice.
Yeah, it's like wool, and then he knitted it while we drove to Indiana for Christmas.
Holy shit.
So I made this guy.
Oh my
It was
god.
my first like big color working project. Knit picks, wool up to Andes. If anyone's interested, I don't know how many knitters are going to be watching this.
Wow.
But yeah, so I made this in the car on the way to Indiana. Over for
That is actually legit though,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah.
Is that
And
the
he, like, we
only
drove
one that you
overnight, so
have?
He had a fucking headlight. It was the cutest thing anyone's ever seen in their goddamn life.
And do you have multiple of this? Is that literally the only
This is the only
one?
one of this that I've made. I made a couple other sweaters.
You gave them to
I
your
gave them
siblings.
away to my
How much would
siblings.
you sell that for?
This?
Oh,
You
yeah.
wouldn't sell it.
$4.50
Yeah.
$4.50.
if I were to price. I mean, fairly. If I'm gonna pay myself
And what?
and
And
make a profit.
and if I want a sweater, how much would I like? I don't want your original sweater. I want a sweater. It would still be the same price because it's going to take that same amount of
probably
time,
unless I use like
If you use like
so like
thick
if I use yarn that's like this thick.
which is not a sweater, kind of.
I mean,
I mean, it could
it'd be
be.
super warm. It'd be more of like a probably like a cardigan jacket kind of
Mm.
situation.
very heavy.
So my
Okay.
cat's all over your phone.
Okay, no, that's fine. All right, that's perfect because I'm all done with the cell phone. But so where can we find you? And how can we help grow this into what you
At
want
the
it to
Woolly
be?
Chest on Instagram, Facebook, Ravelry. Where else are we? Etsy. All the Woolly Chest.
The Woolly Chest.
2 O's, 2 L's.
Yeah, 2 O's, 2 L's.
Right.
Oh, okay. So all of that stuff is either going to be on the screen and or in the description box below or above. Please go click support. You guys, I got to tell you, like, so I had no intention of buying a hat because I didn't. I didn't know how good or legit they look prior to going, right? And that's because I did not know about the Instagram. But go look at it. It is actually legit.
I don't know about the Instagram.
It is legit. Go check it out. I do appreciate this, you guys. I really do. And and Laura, I appreciate you allowing me to air my feelings about stuff that I'm just still confused about. Like I just don't have that, right? I just don't have that. My family's pretty culturally conservative, so I think
Everyone has biases.
yeah, no, we all do. You can say that again. All right. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and then go check them out. We'll catch you guys later. Deuces.